Have you ever done all the inner work, affirming, awareness, even identity shifts, and yet you still notice that your 3D is kind of like frozen in time? You see that nothing is moving, when we know everything does move behind the scenes. But for you, nothing is changing. Or so it appears to be right now. Nothing seems to respond to what you tell yourself. If that's you right now, this episode is going to explain exactly what's happening behind the scenes, and you cannot see it yet. Welcome back to the Mindful Shift podcast. I am Leopoldine, mindset and manifestation coach for ambitious souls ready to rewrite their stories and manifest with clarity, confidence, and actual ease. If you want grounded, low assumption shifts, no rituals, no good vibe pressures, you are in the right place, bestie. And if you want to go deeper, you will find my coaching offers right down below in the description. This space is where we drop the masks. You are not here because you are lost. You are here because you are self-aware enough about your patterns and you are ready to evolve past them. Because nothing is more confusing than doing the mindset work and still seeing zero visible change. A still 3D doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means everything is happening in the background, behind the scenes, and also inside of you. And your external reality is just catching up. Just give it a bit of time. So today we are breaking down what's really shifting under the surface, why your old identity gets loud right before breakthrough, and how to navigate the nothing is happening phase without spiraling or abandoning yourself. Grab your coffee or your blankets, even both. Let's talk about the phase that looks empty outside, but is actually the moment everything starts to shift. One thing I notice with my clients, my community here, and honestly even with myself sometimes, is that the moment life looks still, like nothing is happening, the mind runs back to hold survival thoughts. And no, it doesn't even have to be dramatic ones, but it's the quiet ones that slip through when you are tired or even disappointed. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe I deserve better. Maybe I should stop expecting more for me. Maybe I'm not lucky enough to manifest correctly. Maybe it's for others but not for me. And this type of thoughts aren't true. They are just familiar. They are just old patterns. They are coming from years or over-shrinking, over-functioning, settling, or going through things that teach you how to lower your expectations. From experience, your reality doesn't answer to your fears. It always responds to your identity in the present moment. It doesn't respond to your emotions. It doesn't respond to the fact that you are feeling confident or not today. It doesn't even respond to how strong your belief is in the moment. Your identity is the anchor. So when your 3D looks quiet, when the text hasn't come, the opportunity hasn't moved, the things even look bad at first and negative and the opposite of what you want, your routine hasn't clicked, results hasn't shown up yet. This is not a sign you are blocked. In fact, the more you're thinking you are blocked, the more your reality will prove you are blocked. Stop identifying yourself with the identity of someone who is blocked. That's as simple as that too. But that is the moment. Your reality is just there checking which identity you choose. It doesn't do it with a conscious. It's more like your choice determines how it will be reflected back. Because all of the change begins internally. It's a decision of who you decide to be, no matter what it is you desire. And you only think the nothing is happening, it's not working, when you are judging yourself from old standards. Your old self panics because basically it is losing control. You are not choosing it anymore. And your new identity is stabilizing. And those two versions of you start tugging on the steering wheel. And the more you choose the one you want, the less the others exist. And we show you proof. But that friction, that's growth, bestie. That's the bridge of event forming, first and foremost in your mind. And that's also the moment most people quit. Not because they are weak, not because they are doing something wrong, but because their old identity is just louder. So the moment your mind goes, see, nothing ever works out for you. See, the opposite is happening. You're doing something wrong. See, this is not for you. This was never meant to be. That voice, it's not the current you. It's not even true, unless you think it is. It's your old self, your old type of thoughts, trying to stay relevant in your new reality. It's just that. past thoughts. That's all it is. And the new you, the identity you choose, doesn't need to be perfect. You don't even need to believe it perfectly or to believe it at all. And choosing that new version of you doesn't mean you will never get insecure, you will never have doubts, or you won't get emotional or react emotionally to what's happening around you. It means you stop letting your doubts narrate your identity. Because bestie, you can cry and still hold your standard. You can feel overwhelmed and still think consciously. You can doubt and still choose who you are. This is mindset. That's all it is. This is emotional maturity. And this is law of assumption in action. So your job is not to feel positive even, or to think only positive thoughts, but it is to remember, I don't talk to myself like that anymore. This is not who I am anymore. Yes, because this is a thought, it is an affirmation. But first and foremost, this is a boundary with your old self. Movement begins the moment you stop letting your old self drag you constantly back into the past. And it will sound like, I don't need proof to know who I am. My desires make sense to me. I always get what I want no matter what. I don't negotiate with you. You are just past thoughts. I am the one in charge. I am a master manifestor. Reality adjusts to me, not the other way around. And that is not even magical sentences. That's just an inner dialogue you choose to abuse yourself. Boundary you set in motion. Every single time you need it. That's also internal standards and emotional safety for your future self, for who you choose to be. And when you hold that standard long enough, you start reacting differently. You start seeing things differently, thinking differently, choosing, expecting, setting boundaries differently. And that subtle internal shift is also what becomes a bridge of accident. And yes, everything around you, everyone will move to prove you're right, even if you don't see it yet. It has no other choice anyway. And bestie, that's also a real movement. Your way of thinking, your way of seeing things is a real movement. Everything you decide is a movement, no matter what. And most of the time, what I noticed, it is that it comes before any external movements. Nothing is stuck. You are stabilizing. And stabilizing sometimes can feel slow because it is the first time you are choosing yourself, not abandoning yourself. I want to speak to the part of you that journal, affirm, visualize, do everything, but still slip into the quiet, why me? Why is this happening to? Why I cannot manifest what I want? When things around you seem slow or not happening really yet, you are not doing anything wrong. You are just doing something familiar. Your system defaults to self-pity, not because you are weak, but because for years you had to do everything alone. You built an identity around surviving, predicting, protecting yourself. That's all your brain is doing, protecting yourself. Those days aren't who you are anymore. The truth is you are not a victim. You were just trained to think like one by old patterns and experiences and other people's beliefs around you, by people who never showed up for you, by a past version of your life where you had to hold the whole world yourself. Feeling bad isn't the issue. It never had been. But making your feelings, your identity, is the issue. Feel your emotions, no matter what it is. Let them move through you. Experience them and let go. And then, when it's done, pick your thoughts back up. Take back your power. Not perfectly, it never has to be, but intentionally, as much as possible, as much as you can. Because your thoughts lead, always. And your reality is your mirror. It always follows. Identity is repetition, not instant beliefs. Though sometimes, yes, it can happen. Once again, please make your rules for it first. And I want you to notice every time you fall into an old loop thoughts and that you feel misaligned, that awareness is growth. That awareness is a shift in your identity. And most of people come back to victim identity for one reason. It feels safer than hold a higher standard for themselves. Because wanting more, allowing yourself to receive more, it does requires vulnerability. But you are not fragile, bestie. You are not behind. And you are definitely not asking for too much. You are simply stepping into a version of you who refuses to shrink anymore. And yes, that can be scary, but fear isn't a stop sign. You are stronger than your spirals. You just haven't practiced yet, choosing strength consistently. You have already survived what you thought would break you. You have already shifted identities before. Subconsciously, you have already created things you once thought were impossible. You don't need more proof, bestie. You need to stop letting your old thoughts writing a story you no longer desire anymore. anymore. Not your SP, not your past, not your book accounts. You choose the story. You choose the identity. And you choose whether a bad moment or what seems a bad moment becomes your identity or not. You choose whether doubt becomes your destiny or it's just a passing wave that doesn't mean anything. And this isn't being high vibe. This is self-leadership, emotional steadiness, and identity maturity. Your 3D is never attacking you. It's not working against you. It's working for you. It's just mirroring you. That's it. And you, right now, you are holding the mirror. So when it feels like nothing is changing, that's actually when the biggest shifts are happening. And what you don't see is most likely a mental rewiring. The quiet moments when your brain stops choosing the old story and start accepting the new one. It subtle, sometimes it seems slow, and then suddenly it becomes obvious. And if you are in that in-between phase, you are not failing. You are just stabilizing, pushing through, shifting identities. You are becoming the version of you who gets the thing effortlessly, naturally. If you want more mindset first manifestation that actually makes sense, subscribe, like, share, and comment, because that's what we do here. Remember, it's not the end until you get what you want.